We're at the 29th Annual Boston International Film Festival, where writers, directors, and actors came out to celebrate the success of their films. The Red Sox were crowned the 2013 World Series champions after a 6-1 Game 6 victory over the Cardinals last night. The Middle East is what's on everybody's mind. What will happen next? We asked BU students, and they weighed in on the debate. U.S. transportation officials fined Asiana Airlines $500,000 on Tuesday. CBS News reports the airline failed to contact passengers' families promptly after a deadly crash last year on July 6th at San Francisco Airport. It took the South Korean airline 5 days to contact the families of 291 passengers. This crash left 3 Chinese teens dead and dozens injured. Since the incident, several airlines have updated family assistance plans and filed updated paperwork with the Department of Transportation. Morris commutes from her Boston area home to New York City to Jean Peak's headquarters, where she works to make sure that women don't end up in the same position as she did. Nelson Mandela died in his home in South Africa after ongoing health problems. He was 95. South African President Jacob Zuma announced Mandela's death late Thursday, saying, quote, "We've lost our greatest son." Mandela, who battled apartheid in South Africa before becoming its first democratic leader, inspired a generation of activists, world leaders, and won the Nobel Peace Prize. President Zuma addressed that the nation lost a father, but Mandela is now resting and at peace. You should do SoulCycle
because it's an opportunity to really let go of yourself and find the strongest version of yourself.
SoulCycle is the latest fitness craze, a 45-minute sweat session on stationary bikes designed to feel like part exercise, part party, and part meditation. The latest stop on SoulCycle's ride is their new studio in Chestnut Hill. We sat down with instructor Todd Dunham. He told me about his unique teaching style.
I try to remind everybody in my class to live in the moment. Each moment is an opportunity that's precious that we don't know if we're going to get again. So to really take advantage of every moment, as you put in every pedal stroke, as every heartbeat lines up with the music, it's another opportunity to grow as a person, to grow as an athlete, take advantage of it. SoulCycle has really revolutionized indoor cycling and the way people work out. It's so much more than just a workout. It's about the mind and the body, and I wanted to be part of that revolution.
This unique brand of exercise was founded by Julie Rice and Elizabeth Cutler, 2 women looking for an experience that was efficient and joyful.
I think once the lights go down and the music comes on, there's a certain energy that is transferred from every single person in the room. And every single person has their own energy that they bring into it. So if we all let that energy out, we can feed off of each other. And so I rely on my riders just as much as they rely on me.
The government shutdown has reached its 9th day. In a statement yesterday, President Obama apologized to the American people and said that he is not unwilling to compromise. Americans across the country have been affected, and BU students on campus have a lot to say. If someone from Congress was standing in front of you right now, and you had the ability to say something to them, what would you say?
Be a representative of our people.
Why hasn't it been solved yet? I feel like our government should run more efficiently.
Act like adults, work it out, make concessions, do whatever you need to. Just quit the nonsense. Or we should just vote all of them out.
Clearly they need to negotiate, and I don't really think it doesn't really reflect necessarily the president or just Congress alone. Clearly the way our government's set up, it's the systems working together, and that's kind of the separation right now.
Honestly, I don't think it's about compromise. I think that the voters in these coming elections are really going to have to send a strong message. I think if there's a strong enough message where we are kicking out the Congress people who are responsible for letting this chip be played on the table, that's never going to happen again.
I have some family members that it's affecting, so just hearing their stories is kind of upsetting, knowing that it's basically stemming from people who don't get along.
I mean, yeah, I have a few family members that work in the government, especially on like bases, army bases and stuff like that. I mean, I feel that, obviously it's not good for people not working, but it could actually potentially be better for the long run.
I think it's irresponsible. And I don't like that we've gotten to a place in the political spectrum where we're willing to put bargaining chips and negotiate with things that aren't traditionally bargaining chips.
We're supposed to be like the leaders in the world, and we can't even run our government.
A record summer at the movies. Audiences poured into theaters, exceeding 2011's box office record of $4.4 billion. And the season is not over yet. Hollywood's grand showcase is in full swing with a mixed bag. Everything from true stories to epic action.
Fire in the hole!
Two Guns, starring Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg, opened with $27 million. It took first place at the box office this weekend, but it still fell short of studio expectations. Cast members attended the world premiere in July, including James Marsden, who said he had a lot of fun making the movie.
Oh, I get to fire weapons I normally don't get to, and, you know, it's like, just brings out the little boy in you.
Where am I?
The action continues in the supernatural action-adventure R.I.P.D., starring Oscar-winning actor Jeff Bridges. He and Ryan Reynolds team up on the screen as police officers in the Rest in Peace department. They serve and protect the living from destructive creatures in the afterlife.
It's a comedy, certainly, but you've got, action in there. You've got romance, drama, sci-fi elements.
Hello, Frank.
Who is she? It was an action-packed reunion on the big screen for Red 2. Bruce Willis, Helen Mirren, and John Malkovich team up again as retired CIA operatives. This time, they must track down a missing nuclear device. Mary Louise Parker returns as Bruce Willis's love interest, and Catherine Zeta-Jones joins the cast playing Katya, a Russian double agent.
I like all the scenes when I'm running and being very dangerous in high-heel shoes.
Why, hello, ladies.
The summer has been big for animation. Despicable Me 2, Monsters University, and Planes brought families to theaters. Comedian and actor Dane Cook pauses before his stand-up comedy Under Oath tour to bring Dusty, a crop-dusting plane, to the big screen.
Much like many Disney characters, he's a big dreamer. He has a huge heart, and he wants to see how far he can take his abilities, which certainly I think is a great message for kids.
A smaller indie film, Prince Avalanche, stars Paul Rudd and Emile Hirsch. The two form an unlikely friendship as highway road workers, learning more about each other than they both expected.
I like humor when it informs the drama of certain situations and people who are funny without kind of realizing it in embarrassing ways.
And Lovelace tells a true story of Linda Lovelace, legendary for the first pornographic feature film, Deep Throat. The cast attended the New York premiere to discuss the story of Linda Lovelace.
I thought she was a mistreated, misunderstood young woman who got caught up in a really terrible set of circumstances that defined her for her entire life, and I felt for her.
As summer winds down, September is a month to look forward to. Prisoners, with a powerhouse cast, Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Viola Davis, sets off the new season with a thriller about a Boston kidnapping. In animation, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, with the voices of Neil Patrick Harris and Anna Faris. And a new comedy, Don John, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Scarlett Johansson, and Julianne Moore. Can't wait for a sneak peek of those. That's all for your summer in entertainment. I'm Tamor Balaish.